Have you ever stopped to consider how growing older changes our perspective on life as much as our physical appearance? As we grow older, we face harsh truths that disprove the reassuring ideas we had when we were younger. Going deep into 7 potent recommendations for managing the complex path of old age. We're going beyond surface-level guidance in today's video. These aren't the usual empty platitudes or ideas. Reclaiming your dignity, respect, and inner peace is possible with the guidance of these courageous, life-altering realities. Now tell me why you should stick around till the finish. Reason being, you might get a whole new perspective on relationships, joy, and self-worth as a result of any one of these insights. You'll learn to protect yourself from people who might try to take advantage of your weaknesses, above and beyond the incessant demands of other people. You will discover how vital it is to prioritize your own health and happiness. Plus, we'll talk about the most essential thing: how to live your life according to your own terms and how to escape unhealthy situations. Not only that, though, how to let go of regrets and welcome the great wisdom that comes with age is another topic we'll cover. Watch this video if you wish to enjoy your twilight years to the fullest. With purpose, here, therefore, are the keys to a genuine and meaningful life in your twilight years. So hold on fast. Make sure you never miss a video like this by subscribing and activating notifications if you haven't already. Your unwavering support is really invaluable to me. And if you think this video is helpful, I'd be eternally appreciative if you could hit the like button and share it with your friends. Put in a remark if you feel strongly about this subject. Leave a remark below if it doesn't work, and I'll take it as a sign that you want me to provide more engaging content. In today's video, we'll look at several ways to enjoy your retirement years to the most. Never put all your faith on the first person you meet. That is the first piece of advice, even if this is probably already common sense. The significance of it becomes much clearer as we age. Feelings of loneliness have the potential to become a lifelong companion. We start to long for genuine relationships, for those who can enrich our lives with their presence and company. Ironically, it is precisely because of our need for company that we are susceptible to harm. Sad to say, not everyone that crosses our paths does so because they truly want to help us. Some people say that as they become older, they become softer, more sympathetic, and more likely to see the best in people. Regrettably, some individuals are aware of this weak spot. When we are vulnerable, they know just how to take advantage of our generosity by reading our minds and skillfully manipulating our emotions. Maybe this has happened to you previously. Someone you believed was there for you only shows up when things are tough. When you're lonely and depressed, their words of encouragement and willingness to embrace you are always there. But when you give it some thought, you may find that they disappear the moment your fortunes improve. Their presence seems to flourish when you're down and out, when you're looking for a shoulder to cry on. Instead of giving, these people are seeking to take. Finding out that other people do not appreciate you for who you really are is a particularly painful realization. Whether it's money, favors, or the ego boost that comes from being in a position of authority, some people are only interested in getting what they can out of you. Do you ever find yourself wondering why certain people always seem to pop up when it's most convenient for them? Someone in your family may be able to read your mood and ask for money at the perfect moment. Or a friend may be able to get you to help them out when they know you're too nice to say no. However, you shouldn't let this discourage you from reaching out to others or live a life filled with perpetual mistrust. The message is to practice mindfulness and discernment instead. Being pickier about who we let into our lives is something we can learn to do. We need to pay close attention to our gut feelings and behavioral trends if we want to pull this off. Learning to say no when uncomfortable, setting healthy boundaries, and standing up for what's important, our serenity, stability, and dignity are all part of this. Protecting one's emotional and psychological health becomes more important as we become older, not just to keep harm at bay, but also to make the most of the time we have left. We should surround ourselves with people who appreciate us for who we are, who encourage us rather than depress us or take advantage of our generosity. Envision your latter years as a time of serenity rather than regret. Having fewer, more authentic friends seems better, doesn't it? The ones who support you out of genuine concern and not because they can get something out of you. Learning to trust, yet carefully, is the key. Master the art of skepticism without giving up on people altogether. If you want to know if someone's words and deeds are consistent, it's perfectly reasonable to watch their behavior over time. Those who truly care about you, your friends, will honor your personal space. If someone doesn't care about you, it's safe to assume they never will. If you've stuck with me this far and think these thoughts are helpful, leave a remark below to confirm. The quantity of your relationships is less important than the quality of them. So keep that in mind as you go through life. Sure, have faith, but be careful. Investigate reasons, keep an eye out for trends, and passionately defend your tranquility. By changing your perspective, you can build relationships that bring you joy instead of sadness. This is a present you may offer to yourself and the genuine people in your life who accept you without condition. 2. Don't sit around and hope that other people will notice how much you've sacrificed. Think back on all the times you prioritized the needs of other people, whether they were your parents, children, spouse, or friends, above your own. Maybe you buried your aspirations, set aside your personal objectives, and abandoned things that once meant a lot to you in the hopes that they would appreciate all you've done for them. Wishing that kids will look back on your sacrifices with appreciation and truly appreciate you is a lovely concept. Unfortunately, this is the reality. Things don't always work out that way. Your efforts may go unappreciated and unrecognized for all the time. Think back on the times you secretly wished someone would notice all the effort you've put in. Those evenings spent thinking about how selflessly you've helped others, how many dreams you let die, and how much you sacrificed for the joy of another person. And yet, how frequently has that acknowledgement simply not materialized? The subsequent numbness can be excruciating, making you doubt your decisions, relationships, and value in general. The need for approval can build up over time, becoming a more pressing issue. When we put our hopes in other people's approval, we are really putting a portion of our joy in their hands, waiting for something that might never come, and putting our peace at the mercy of their words or deeds is a precarious situation to be in. When thankfulness fails to materialize, disappointment frequently takes its place, and eventually, that lethargic dissatisfaction turns into something much more sinister: resentment. Sometimes it's easy to look back on the good times and the sacrifices you made, but now you might be thinking that nobody paid attention or valued what you did. As time goes on, this animosity can eat away at your relationships, replacing love with tension. Tragically, it has the potential to make you doubt your own goodness and nature, leading you to wonder if those acts of selflessness were ever worthwhile. However, cling to this strong reality. No one else's approval is a measure of the worth of your sacrifices. The times you went above and above to alleviate another person's hardship or improve their quality of life, those are examples of your selfless acts, not theirs. These things show how strong you are, how kind you are, and how giving your heart is. Forgetting about seeking approval from other people is the first step towards moving forward. Learning to recognize your sacrifices for their own worth, rather than for the approval of others, is the path to lasting contentment and joy. The opinions and worth of other people shouldn't matter as much as your own standards when it comes to shaping your life. The value of time grows exponentially with the passage of time. Living a life unencumbered by the pressures of seeking and receiving acceptance from others is incredibly beautiful. Envision yourself completely free from the shackles of having your happiness, satisfaction, and serenity dependent on the approval of other people. Releasing this urge allows you to enjoy your life to the fullest, free from the weight of other people's expectations and disappointments. Your efforts will not have been in vain if you accept the possibility that you may never receive the accolades you desire. In fact, it's a sign that your love and generosity were completely unselfish, born out of a lack of desire for anything in return. Embracing this truth is a strong demonstration of self-love. It gives you the confidence to know that no matter what other people think, your sacrifices, efforts, and generosity were genuine. Feel free to leave a comment below to confirm your continued presence and let me know if you're finding these insights useful. Live your life to the fullest right now. Take pride in your accomplishments and the sacrifices you've made, not because other people pushed you to, but because you value them. You are valuable not because other people think highly of you, but because of the bravery and kindness that are already inside you. Remember this every day. Your greatest ally and sufficient support throughout the years has been this quiet strength. When you decide to let go, you take control of your life again, allowing yourself to live in the present with an open mind and a full heart. Stop being scared to put distance between yourself and toxic people, especially if they are family. That brings us to our third piece of advice: an unbreakable tie, a feeling of home, and an integral component of who we are, all things that many of us associate with our families. But even the relationships we cherish the most will face their share of difficulties as we go through life. Because of this, we have a tough time balancing our own emotional and mental well-being with the loyalty that compels us to keep these relationships going. Because of the immense pressures of duty, social expectation, and shame, finding a solution to this conundrum can appear like an insurmountable task. Growing older makes it all too obvious that time is limited, which makes us more sensitive to abuse while we're younger because we think there's plenty of time to rectify things and heal old wounds. How often have you felt obligated to maintain contact despite being the target of abusive language, manipulation, or downright disrespect? Everyone teaches us that our families are the most important thing in the world, and that we should put our differences aside, forgive, and bear with each other through thick and thin. Unconditional love entails embracing every imperfection, wrongdoing, and injury, and at times even our own inner voices repeat this message. Now we come to the ugly reality. Your health and happiness should never be sacrificed for the sake of family ties. Persistently damaging behavior does not have an unconditional component. Picture a situation that could be familiar. A partner who, after years of marriage, no longer treats you with the respect and care you deserve. A grandchild who only contacts you when they are in financial need. A child who is always critical or dismissive of you, even more so when they originate from people who are meant to provide you with protection. These kinds of circumstances may be incredibly distressing, no matter how ingrained they are. Learning to release these poisonous relationships might be the greatest selfless act of love you can do for yourself. Despite how challenging it is, this is becoming more important as we get older. Truthfully, no relationship, regardless of how deeply entrenched in your past, should ever put your mental and emotional well-being at risk. No one should ever have to put up with abuse, insults, or poisonous conduct because it's part of growing older. Completely in reverse. Relationships that bring you joy, solace, and real friendship should be prioritized over those that cause you stress, grief, or resentment as you grow older. Consider the changes that would occur in your life if you made your health and safety your first priority and established firm limits. Imagine how liberating it would be if you were no longer burdened by criticism or pessimism. Imagine a world where you have supportive friends and loved ones who encourage you, value you, and brighten your days. You may make room for the connections that count by establishing these boundaries, which are probably the most essential ones you'll ever set. Connections with others that truly value your well-being. Every day is valuable now that I am in this phase of my life. People who appreciate you for who you are rather than what you can give them should be your companions. You deserve nothing less. We need to stop believing the lie that being a family involves enduring unpleasant words and actions without ever changing or improving. When relationships within a family are based on kindness, respect, and love, they may be a wonderful and supportive part of our lives. When certain characteristics are lacking, it's okay. Restraint is key. You must not jeopardize the tranquility you have painstakingly nurtured. Putting some space between yourself and others, or even just deciding to do so, is not being selfish or betraying someone. Doing so is a measure of protecting oneself. The importance of taking care of your mental and emotional well-being is acknowledged. You deserve to surround yourself with loving people who value you and your worth, not with individuals who bring you down and exploit you. The lovely reality is that you are the only one responsible for your own happiness and well-being. Nobody has the right to keep you mired in a never-ending loop of toxic emotions, manipulation, or guilt. Not even your own family. A life filled with love, respect, and joy should be yours. The most selfless thing you can do for yourself is to end relationships that aren't good for you anymore. Calm down, believe in yourself, and your right to tranquility, and realize that you are paving the way for the happiness, calm, and authentic relationships you deserve by establishing these limits. Above all else, your life's purpose is to live in a world where you are appreciated, respected, and at peace, and it's never too late to make that choice. The fourth piece of advice is to quit letting other people, even your family, dictate your life. I understand how unsettling and even cruel that sounds. Selfishness, or the practice of prioritizing one's own needs over those of one's community, is offensive to many of us. The reality, though, is that many of us spend our whole lives caving in to the desires and requirements of other people, our wives, our children, and our grandkids. We think this unending sacrifice is the most genuine way to show our love for them. Therefore, we give our lives to make sure they are happy. Unfortunately, this is the reality. Constantly putting other people's needs before your own turns sacrifices into a prison rather than an act of love. Pause and consider it for a second. It is your time. After all, at this point in your life, your chance to recharge, to attend to your own needs, to go after the goals you've put on hold. Rather, many people find that the pressure to live up to other people's expectations is only increasing. It's a burden, an unseen, relentless expectation to be available at all times, to continuously postpone your happiness. These expectations are frequently unsaid as well. They're only sensed, assumed, and profoundly embedded. But I have to ask, who gave anyone the authority to expect that much from you? Do you think that's fair? Think about it for a second. Why, after everything I've done, am I still left with this feeling of hollowness? Why is this yearning for satisfaction still there? Decades after pouring my heart, soul, and mind into this cause, no matter how selflessly you serve others, they will always have more demands placed upon you. You sacrifice everything, your time, your energy, your money, and even your health to make sure other people are happy. On the other hand, have you ever considered who is protecting you? Have you ever allowed yourself to fantasize about what life might be like if you prioritized your own happiness for a single day? Allow me to present you with an idea. Even members of one's own family can abuse their position occasionally. They depend heavily on the elderly for help in all areas of life, whether it's emotional, practical, or financial, and they don't often realize it. They take it as a given that you are giving them your time, energy, and resources. What are the benefits of this exchange? Just a quick thank you? Or even worse, the assumption that you'll keep giving without inquiry or restriction. But what if you find yourself in need of assistance? At a time when you're in need of a support system? It's in those times that you often come to terms with how much you've sacrificed and how little you've accomplished. Instead of constantly putting other people's needs above your own, you should focus on getting back to where you started. It's an opportunity to reconnect with the things that bring you happiness, rediscover old interests, and pursue long-lost goals. There is absolutely no shame in that, and that is the most crucial truth. For the sake of one's own survival, it is not selfish to liberate oneself from the long-established expectations of others. It's about taking back your entitlement to joy and contentment. If someone loves and values you deeply, they will understand. To enjoy the independence you've worked so hard for, they will tell you to take it easy. It is not your responsibility to explain things to them if they still don't get it. You have gone above and beyond, contributing more than what is expected of you. Looking for joy right now isn't narcissistic. It's reasonable, fair, and essential, more than ever before. You should be able to live your life free from the burden of other people's expectations, shame, and terror. Stop putting other people's needs before your own. That's my sincere request. Take full ownership of this new phase of your life. For what feels like an eternity, you've sacrificed for the sake of others, putting your own aspirations on wait. Let go of all your responsibilities and enjoy a life filled with joy, serenity, and independence. The time has come for you to receive. It is yours to keep. Take back the life you deserve now, free of shame and self-doubt, and with the same self-love and self-respect that you've generously offered to the world. Never treat the past as a safe haven for your soul. That is the fifth piece of advice. Reminiscences of simpler times frequently accompany us on our journey through life. There are moments when the memories of our youth, the joy we felt, the love we shared, and the dreams we dared to dream seem more real than the here and now. The comforting embrace of these recollections can be a haven of solace, especially as we age. They remind us of our past selves and the paths we've traveled, which brings us comfort. Yes, it is possible to benefit from reflecting on one's past, but only in moderation. It's a way to enjoy the ride through life. Nevertheless, we need to be very careful since we walk a tight line. No matter how lovely your memories are, they can hold you captive if you let them control your life more than the present moment. You shouldn't let them dictate how you live your life right now. How often do you find yourself wishing for a time when you were happier or reminiscing about how much better things were when you were younger? Attractive and even calming as these ideas may be at first, they mask a more sinister reality. Believing that your greatest days are behind you is a common consequence of this thinking, which can lead to a never-ending cycle of desiring more and comparing yourself to others. Taking part in and enjoying the here and now becomes more of a challenge. Holding on to the past too firmly prevents you from seizing the limitless opportunities that lie ahead. And that is a painful truth. There can be some flaws in the present, even if it lacks the enchantment of yesteryear. It is the most concrete and genuine experience you have. Here it is, ready for you to call it home. You run the danger of wasting valuable moments every time you fixate on the past instead of the present. Time that may have been better spent making memories, finding pleasure in the unknown, and accepting life as it happens. Reliving the past too much isn't only pointless. It's like a wall blocking your path to living life to the fullest. Life is short, and if we waste time lamenting the past, we will never have enough of the present. Can you fathom the anguish of finishing a chapter of your life and realizing that you wasted a lot of time dwelling on the past instead of embracing the future? Life is a revolving door, with new experiences, lessons, and blessings at each stage. Even while your past has shaped you and served its function, it does not define you anymore. This is a new chapter in your life, a chance to start again, to discover happiness and meaning in unexpected places, and to make new memories. What makes you unique is not just what you've been through, but also the choices you make in each new moment. What happens next on your path depends on the decisions you make now, while you still have the chance. Reliving those carefree days won't help you move on from where you are now. They've served their purpose in your story. They have shaped you into who you are, but they shouldn't take center stage. Finding fulfillment, significance, and maybe even awe in the future is the true test. It's normal to miss the energy and vigor of your younger years, which seem like they're just out of reach. Keep your eyes open for the wonder and opportunity that lies ahead, and don't let your nostalgia cloud your judgment. Life is full of surprises, new connections, and chances for development even as we age. You get to decide. Are you more likely to hide in your nostalgia for a simpler time, or to welcome the world as it is, flaws and all? Just because something happened in your past doesn't mean it defines you entirely. Be receptive to the idea that you still have a lot of life to experience. Meet new people and find new joys in, and that there may be incredible things waiting for you in store. There is a lot of unrealized promise in an uncertain future. A life lived to the fullest is one that welcomes each new day with open arms, keeps one's eyes peeled for what the future holds, and finds significance and satisfaction in the here and now. The greatest moments of your life have not yet passed. Instead, hold fast to the belief that you have a great deal more to look forward to. Instead of letting nostalgia control you, let it serve as a gentle reminder and a place you visit occasionally. Accept and delight in the here and now. Give in to the joy of the present. Soak it all in, and make memories that will bring you the same satisfaction when you think back on them. You are being invited to participate in the ongoing events of life. Don't sit on your hands and let it pass you by. Climb inside. 6. Don't let your age hold you back from making a difference. It could be difficult to accept this. It could also make you feel uncomfortable or even resistant. But it's the unease that shows how crucial this reality is. How often have you said, "I'm too old for that," and then passed up a chance to learn something new or take a step towards self-improvement? Age can be a barrier that prevents us from embracing new experiences. Whether it's learning a new skill, overcoming a bad habit, changing our perspective, or even reopening our hearts to love. It's an easy way out of being different and adapting. However, the truth that sets you free is as follows. There is always room for growth so long as you are alive. This insight has the potential to reveal the boundless opportunities that await you in the future. It disproves the conventional wisdom, which is nearly generally believed, that personal development and change become impossible beyond a particular age, that there is no longer any possibility for change in your life, habits, or personality at this point. I must tell you this, that notion is completely unfounded, an illusion that makes us stay in a comfortable but unfulfilling life. We become complacent when we believe this myth. We begin to think that life is mostly about settling down, slowing down, and withdrawing after a particular age. By perpetuating this myth, we are robbing ourselves of an opportunity to start over with fresh enthusiasm, focus, and fulfillment. What if, however, we view our twilight years not as a period of decline, but as the most formative period of our lives? The interesting section is here. We have something that was lacking when we were younger, and now it's more important than ever. Wisdom. We've learned more about our own identity. With the knowledge and wisdom we've gained from our many life experiences, we can confidently face any obstacles or seize any opportunities that come our way. Just think of all the chances you might have missed out on because you told yourself it was too late. Consider the aspirations you buried, the hobbies you put on the back burner, and the age at which you convinced yourself they were more suited to someone else. Imagine the love you could have experienced, the adventures you could have undertaken, the locations you could have discovered, and the abilities you could have cultivated if you had only had more time. Everything that you failed to accomplish was not because it was impossible, but rather because you thought it was out of your reach. It's a harsh reality, but it's also really inspiring. Being reminded that age is not a limiting factor. It serves as a wake-up call. It's the belief we have in our own abilities and potential. Age may really work to your benefit, which is something that many people don't understand. As time goes on, we accumulate a wealth of knowledge that comes from life's events, including fresh insights and a broader view. We have overcome challenges, accomplished goals, experienced loss, and rejoiced in victories. Being patient, resilient, empathic, and realizing the value of time are all lessons we've taken away from this ordeal. We are better able to handle change now than we were when we were younger because of these traits. So, it makes no difference if you're 50, 60, 70, or older if you have unrealized ambitions or a need for development. The perception that it's too late is the only true barrier. Even though this notion seems firmly embedded, it's really only a chain that we can all sever. Realizing you have this restriction and making the decision to conquer it is a huge step in the right direction. I say we should stop looking at age as a barrier and start using it as a springboard to explore unexplored places. I agree that change isn't always easy. Some people may even find it unpleasant. But consider the bravery required to get through each of your life stages: childhood, adolescence, early adulthood, and middle age. You overcame the challenges that each level presented. For what reason wouldn't this phase be the same? I don't see why this phase of your life shouldn't be just as interesting and full of surprises. Envision all the opportunities that might present themselves if you saw your age as an asset, rather than a limitation. Imagine instead that you view each year of your life as a tool you can add to your arsenal, and every obstacle you've overcome as an opportunity to grow wiser. Embracing this mindset allows you to make changes, no matter how big or little. From finally taking up that long-lost pastime to completely revamping your entire way of life. Imagine a world where you can finally go to all the places you've always dreamed of going. Launch that dream business, have genuine connections with people, and explore long-suppressed interests. And making a change now can have much more of a positive impact. A new dimension will be added to your life by the profound significance of the changes you make right now. Keep in mind that the point of this transformation is not to get approval from others, conform to society norms, or stay ahead of the curve. No, this modification is tailored to your needs. It all starts with respecting yourself and realizing that every moment is a chance to improve. As long as you're here, you have the capacity to change, adapt, and succeed in ways that could even shock yourself. It is often argued that the most significant constraints do not exist in our physical bodies or external situations, but rather in our own imaginations. There is no end in sight for the years you've lived. Their value is engaging your life experiences, knowledge, and potential contributions. At this stage of your life, embracing change is a beautiful choice. In doing so, it proves that the strength, tenacity, and limitlessness of the human spirit know no bounds. I say we stop viewing age as a barrier and start viewing it as a springboard. Put all your knowledge and experience to use, and let the lessons you've gained guide you into a future full of limitless opportunities. Forget the lie that it's too late and accept the reality that you can change your life at any time. Why? Because there's no end to the possibilities for personal development, growth, joy, and discovery so long as you're here. Live each day to the fullest. And may your life's work serve as a monument, not to your past, but to the marvelous adventure that awaits you. Rethinking the daily ritual of masturbation is the seventh piece of advice. When done moderately and on occasion, masturbation can be a healthy way to relax and enjoy one's own body. A person's sense of self, their needs, and pent-up tension can all be better understood and addressed with its aid. Nevertheless, when it turns into a habit or, even worse, a compulsion, it usually indicates a deeper attempt to escape from something. Maybe it's a strategy for dealing with unresolved feelings, overcoming feelings of isolation, or making up for areas of life where you're unhappy. Think about it for a second. Why do you find yourself engaging in this behavior on a regular basis? While masturbation may provide short-term respite from stress, boredom, or irritation, many people become trapped in a routine of everyday masturbation for reasons other than its ability to deliver permanent satisfaction or contentment. Although it may provide temporary relief, what starts as a harmless habit can easily turn into a destructive pattern that drains your energy and leaves you feeling unhappy and empty. The importance of bringing harmony and purpose into our lives, including our enjoyment of life's little pleasures, grows as we age. Over time, masturbating every day can deplete your energy, make it hard to think clearly, and make you feel lonely. Sometimes this tendency might act as a barrier, keeping you from forming genuine connections and substituting a self-contained routine for genuine intimacy. Leave 3 comments below to confirm you're still with me if you're enjoying the video and finding the insights useful. It may be time to look for healthier alternatives to satisfy your mental and physical demands if you notice that you're doing this habit too frequently. Picture the tranquil delight of a morning stroll, the solace of a good book, the thrill of diving headfirst into a new pastime, or the warmth of a genuine chat with a friend. True happiness, free from the constraints of a compulsive habit, may be yours for the taking through these encounters. This is not an argument against masturbation or in favor of abstinence. Let me be clear. A better, more balanced relationship with oneself and moderation are the keys. Actually, cutting back on this habit could help you discover new layers of happiness that add depth to your life and make you feel more connected to the people and things that matter most to you. It is possible to include masturbation into a more comprehensive and fulfilling lifestyle rather than utilizing it as a coping mechanism or getaway. Envision a life where happiness isn't reserved for special occasions but permeates every aspect of it. From the mundane satisfaction of routine tasks to the thrilling adventure of artistic endeavors and the comforting embrace of meaningful relationships. Reducing indulging is not the same as practicing moderation. It implies increasing your ability to savor life. You may discover that you are better able to enjoy life's genuine pleasures when you are free from the grip of compulsive behaviors. Finding a routine that lets you relax and enjoy being alone without turning to drugs or alcohol is key. A more fulfilling and interconnected life is yours for the taking when you strike a healthy balance between indulging and limiting your consumption. As we come to a close, I would want to inquire, what have you taken away from our conversation today? Pause and think about what you've learned. Has anything stuck with you, either as an idea or a takeaway? What are some ways you may incorporate it into your everyday routine? Feel free to leave a remark with your opinions. Tell us what you mean by balance and how you intend to achieve it in your life. Post a comment below if you got anything out of this video, and hit that like share, and subscribe button to keep seeing more videos like this one. Your support has been much appreciated, and we are excited to keep moving forward with you on this path to a happier, healthier life.